Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to do a comprehensive review of Air FitBag 3. The pros, the cons, is it worth the money, and ultimately does it fit well on a woman of a shorter stature like myself. I am 5'2", and from my most recent review of the Bellroy Tokyo Tote Bag Compact, I've gotten a ton of really nice comments about how helpful that review was to figuring out whether that backpack was a good purchase, especially from the perspective of a shorter woman. Does it fit well into maybe their wardrobe, and whether it is a good buy overall. So today I intend to do the same kind of review for this bad boy over here. In fact, this was my original purchase for my daily driver. I intended to take this to work, and I did for some time, and also to the gym. But for a few reasons I decided to retire this and actually opt for the Bellroy one. I guess a mandatory disclaimer is that this video is not sponsored by Air, and my previous video wasn't sponsored by Bellroy. In fact, I actually would love to be sponsored by either of them and try out more of their products, because I actually think they're really good quality. But just so you know, I bought this with my own money and judge this completely impartially. Also, we might get a guest appearance from a certain fluffy ragdoll this video, but it's not guaranteed in any way, and you will have to watch until the end to find out when he does appear. So without further ado, let's dive in. Alrighty. As you can see, this is the backpack. It's not particularly slim profile, but I think Air did a good job of making this minimalist despite its rather bulky appearance. There are tons of features to the bag. I guess let's start from the price. Price of this backpack in the UK is £149, and considering a normal retail value for a backpack of about probably £30 to £50, this one definitely comes at a premium, and it is my job to discuss today whether it is worth that premium. In terms of the fabric it's made out of, it is made out of ballistic nylon, which actually was invented around World War II times to help airmen protect themselves from all sort of air debris, etc. So it is meant to last, and Air actually invested in a particularly durable, denser kind of ballistic nylon of 1680 denier, whereas most ballistic nylons density is around 1000, so it is really meant to stay with you for a while. In terms of the zippers, they are kind of industry standard YKK, which turns out to be pretty much a monopoly on zippers all around the world. It is a Japanese company. They are in some places waterproofed, so they have this rubberized coating in and around kind of the zipper, which actually does really help. And then all the other zippers, well, the rubberized one is here, and I think that is pretty much it. Just this big one, because that one is obviously most exposed to the elements, and then the top and little extra pocket here are not kind of proofed with the same material, but they are quite dense, so I would be surprised if any sort of water seeps through here. The backpack also has these side pockets that are on an elastic band, so they do expand, and you actually are able to fit quite a big water bottle here. I own, well, actually not me, but my partner owns a 1 liter hydro flask, and it does fit here perfectly, even if it does feel a little bit bulky. On the back, we've got some extra cushioning material. It is quite thick, so it is really meant to be comfortable. There's this strap over here on the back to make it more convenient for you when you travel, because you can just slip it onto your suitcase. So let's also discuss these pretty chunky looking straps here. They are, unlike I think most bags that I've seen, they're really reinforced with this very thick cushioning material, and they are quite kind of tough. They aren't easy to squeeze compared to, I think, most traditional backpacks. There's also a sternum strap here to make it more comfortable on your shoulders and your back to redistribute the weight, and they're overall just very well constructed, so they feel really high quality, and honestly, I have kind of no doubts that these would last a long time. In terms of our compartments and such, so the biggest one and the most obvious one is basically right here. So this is meant to act as the main compartment for the bag, so where you would put probably most of your gym clothes. Then you would also notice that this compartment has an additional pocket here if you wanted to hide something or put it away. Pocket over here, or this bag over here, actually comes from this bottom pocket where your shoes are meant to go. So let's talk a little bit about the pocket here. You do have a ventilation pocket, so that's really meant to help with any stinky shoes that you put in here. It's fairly easy to kind of operate, so when you open, this is what it looks like. I currently have my shoes there right now, so they are quite a chunky shoe. And actually I have more than just one shoe here. I also have my flip-flops. So this is what I would typically take to the gym, my shoes and my flip-flops. It's also important to mention that this compartment is collapsible, so there is this pocket here. You're able to just, let me take this out, able to just pull it out and stuff it inside here if you wanted to have a little bit more space in the main compartment. And the last thing I would say about this compartment is that it actually has antibacterial, antimicrobial coating, which would definitely help for any of you that sweat a lot, work out a lot, or just in general to keep your shoes in here. It's a really useful and nice thing to have, so that your backpack doesn't stink. Yeah, so now you can see there is definitely more space in here, and you can, if you want to, put your shoes in here as well. It's just a matter of personal preference. So let's move on. Okay, I would also say that they've really thought about all the little features of the bag. For instance, if I wanted to close this, it is rather inconvenient to just pull it on itself. So there is this little piece of fabric that they put in here that I can hold and pull down while I pull up this zipper. Alrighty, so let's move on to this smaller pocket here. This is probably my favorite feature of the bag because I've just never seen that anywhere in any other backpack, and I think it really makes a lot of sense. There is this really quite a deep but very soft pocket here. I can actually invert it now to show you just how deep it is. It is quite deep. Yeah, you can easily fit your phone, your sunglasses, or anything that you don't want tarnishing or scratching or anything like that. It is very soft, and I would love to see that in more backpacks. Moving on, our final and pretty sizable compartment is the one where you're meant to put any sort of work stuff in. So yeah, you have a really soft and cushioned back panel here. It is meant to house your laptop, obviously, and you have just two different pockets over here. The way the pocket is made is actually, it's not sewn all the way down, so if you drop your laptop in here or you drop your backpack, it's meant to kind of protect your laptop from any sort of damage. There are a number of compartments here, so I can count 1, 2, there is a whole separate section here, over here for any small items. There's also a separate mesh section that is actually quite stretchy, so you can really stuff it with all sorts of things. I have my perfume in here, and as well as the back section of the same pocket. So it's really pockets galore. If you carry a lot of small things around and you really want to organize your backpack better, this one would really do the trick for you. I think the one thing that this backpack in terms of features would benefit from is having a short strap onto which you can hook on your key, just so that you don't lose it in this really fairly big backpack. But this is a minor detail, so I think they've done pretty well here overall in terms of all the different pockets and compartments, and just they really put in a lot of thought into how you're going to use this backpack. You can see that I have two of the same backpack now in front of you, and can anyone please tell me which one you think has been in use for 2 years and which one has been used for maybe a couple of months and been retired. Personally, I can't really tell the difference. The only way I'm able to tell the difference is by feeling the backpack. So this is the bag that I bought 2 years ago and retired fairly quickly, and this is the bag that my partner uses every day to go to work, gym, etc. As his daily driver. So this has seen a really consistent use throughout all seasons and all types of weathers, and you know, it rains a lot in England, so you really aren't able to see any sort of stains or any sort of damage, really. So 2 years and this just looks as good as new. And the only way I'm able to tell that he's a little bit older is because this strap over here is just a little bit softer to the touch, but it's just as good, it's just as strong. So this bag really scores a lot of points from the durability perspective. I think if you buy this, it will really last you a long time. Even if you use it on a daily basis, you will probably have to take maybe 5-6 years to see any sort of damage on it, if at all. So 10 out of 10 for the durability perspective, because you can't even see any scuffs or anything like that. And this bag has seen a lot of different surfaces on the tube, off the tube, on a train, etc. So it's really been great. The next point has to do with water resistance. I think tying into the durability point of view, my partner's backpack has really seen all types of weather, and he doesn't typically carry an umbrella, so it does see rain. And actually I insert a little clip here of me wearing this backpack outdoors when it started raining. You can really see that the water particles just kind of sit on the surface of the backpack and they never really seep through. So from the water resistance and weather resistance perspective, this backpack is fantastic. I've never had an issue with it myself, nor had my partner, to be completely honest. So all of our stuff has always stayed dry and nothing ever got damaged. So from the water and weather resistance perspective, I think you cannot go wrong with this one. I think there are very few backpacks out there on the market that would do as good of a job as this does. The next point has to do with odor management, because this is meant to be taken to the gym. So I really think that this bag does a really good job with that. I've never had an issue with it smelling any sort of way, even if I put any kind of wet stuff here after going to a pool, any sort of wet stuff, any smelly, stinky shoes after a workout. Never had an issue with it. If it ever got caught a little bit of dirt, you could really easily wipe it because the lining inside is not conducive to absorb any water. So from the odor management perspective, it's good as well. So I would give it a 10 out of 10. The next one has to do with the minimalist aesthetic. I think this backpack is, for its size, is as minimalist as it gets. I think Air did a really good job design-wise here. It has a fairly strong but minimalist design language, and it is a good looking backpack. Like, I mean, look at it. For me personally, I don't wear a ton of dark colors and don't really wear a ton of black, so it doesn't really fit into my wardrobe seamlessly, and I wish Air had come out with maybe a few more colors than the ones that they currently have. Maybe like a bone color with some brown accents or something. I'm just really thinking about a Peak Design backpack here, but I think overall for this particular version of it is doing a good job of fitting into probably most people's wardrobes and sustaining most people's needs. Convenience, minimalist aesthetic, weather resistance, durability, this backpack really scores top points. Okay, so now we're going to talk a little bit about what can be improved and why I ultimately opted in for this backpack instead of this one. The first thing for me is honestly the size. I am pretty short. Well, actually I think I'm normal height, but whatever. I am 5'2", and for me this backpack really just overwhelms my frame. It really looks as if I'm carrying a ton of stuff with me, and it really didn't fit into the requirements of my job, where I had to take a lot of business meetings around the city, travel a bunch. It just wasn't low-key enough and didn't really fit with my overall light colored wardrobe. So from that perspective, it wasn't it. And I found that I needed something that is a little bit more streamlined, that maybe looked a little bit smarter, that was just overall like a tote really, that I could carry whichever way, that the Belaroi Tokyo Tote Pack Compact really kind of fit the bill. I also, I know I said this already, but I really wish Air came out with a few more colors, because maybe then it would have been an easier purchase for me overall. It would have been easier to make a decision, because I would know that even if the backpack does look a little bit bulky, it would actually probably fit with most of my clothes. But yeah, that is one reason. Aesthetics didn't really work for me. The next thing is really about the weight of this backpack. So the Air Fitback 3 is just a bit over a kilo, and I find that it is a little bit too heavy for me. Even if I don't carry a lot of stuff with me, I don't bring any gym clothes, just maybe my laptop. First of all, it feels a little bit excessive to just carry a 13-inch MacBook with me in using this bag. I often felt like I just want to take something more low-key, something smaller, and I did feel the weight of it on my shoulders after some time. So I know that I said that these shoulder straps are, you know, really thick and really meant to be comfortable, but I found that for me they were just maybe a little bit too stiff and a little bit too rigid to comfortably carry a full backpack. So after some time, even if I didn't have to carry it for, you know, the entire day, maybe maximum 2 hours a day around the city and then home, I just felt like it was A, overwhelming my frame, and B, just too heavy on my shoulders. So I did opt in for something that still has the padding but isn't nearly as big. Of course, we have the sternum strap over here to help with that specific issue of, you know, redistributing the load on your shoulders. And I did find that it helped somewhat, but you cannot take away the fact that this backpack is heavy, and the more you stuff it in, the heavier it gets compared to anything that is lighter, obviously. Another thing that I think could be improved, or maybe is a little bit deceptive when you look at a backpack of this size, is its overall spaciousness. So actually, let's have a look at how many things it can fit when you fill it up to the brim. As you can see, it doesn't actually fit a whole ton, and I am not a big human being, so most of my clothes are fairly small, including my shoes, even if the shoes are bulky. So I was really surprised to find this compartment here fit a lot less than I expected. For the bag of this size, yes, it can maybe fit one or two things more than this bag, but I really didn't need all of those things with me on a daily basis. So for me, actually opting for the Belaroi bag was also an exercise in minimalism. And having a smaller backpack really created that kind of constrained environment in which I only took what I needed, and I found that most of what I need on a daily fits here very well. I think if you are taller, or if your clothes are bigger, your shoe size isn't 3 UK, which is quite small and most people don't have feet this small, you might find that this backpack actually doesn't fit nearly as much as you'd like, especially if you maybe want to take it around on trips. So that's why I don't take it on trips either, because A, I find it a little bit uncomfortable to carry for a long time because of its weight, and also B, it just doesn't fit nearly as many things as I need to if I'm going on a 2-3 day trip. So in terms of a size comparison, let's just have a look at what it looks like on me. So. I know there will be a lot of questions about what size laptop can this fit, etc, etc. I typically carry a 13-inch MacBook Air with me, and my partner does a 16-inch MacBook Pro. Both of them fit with more than enough space in here. Actually, let me demonstrate. Alright, so here we have a 16-inch MacBook Pro. Pick up the laptop. Yeah, it fits just right. I don't think you can put in a bigger laptop in here than the 16-inch. So, in conclusion, do I recommend buying this backpack? Look, it's hard not to recommend this backpack considering just how well constructed it is and just how long it would last you should it fit your daily needs. I have another backpack to show you. One sec. So, as you can see, we are a bit of an Air household. This is their travel pack, I think it's called. It belongs to my partner, and it's fairly big, but I think it's of really good utility. It fits a lot, and it really works well for him. So if you want me to review that one, please do let me know. Their stuff is good, man. It's good. It will last you a long time. In conclusion, the Air Fitback 3 is a great backpack that would fit probably most people's use cases, but for a maybe a little bit more of a fashion-oriented consumer that's looking for a smaller, slimmer profile bag that comes in a variety of colors, it isn't the best choice. Alright, well, that's it from me for today. I hope you found this video helpful, and if there's anything that you're curious about that I didn't mention, please let me know down in the comments. Otherwise, I hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. It wasn't guaranteed, but was it?